So in this video, we're going to have a big rant because we're mad. What's up, guys? David Feldman-Makrias here, and I have a special guest, Seth Majitsky.
Hello.
Round of applause. So I'm going to set the scene here, and I'm going to pass it off to Seth. We've been working on facilitating with a OEM certified vendor. For all of you new car franchise dealers, that would be your manufacturer. So let's say in this instance, Jeep, Stellantis. Giving certain co-op funds to a certified vendor to run ads for. Specifically in this instance, Google Ads. So we're working with this certified OEM partner to help facilitate their ad buy because we are not a certified partner. The reason we're making this video is because the certified partners suck. Without lack of better terms, they just suck. You may think that you're getting better value because you're not having to spend any money and you're getting reimbursed in co-op. You may think that everything's all the same, but they're really not. And this video is to illustrate a few points why. Seth here, when I flip it over, is going to go over things like that are really, really important. A, conversion tracking. B, timeliness and responsiveness. C, auditing offers and having the basics down for ad copy. And just show you why, when you're thinking about doing a certified program for Google Ads, why you should think twice and what you should look for. So, without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to him, and then we're going to go through some things.
Alrighty, so a sense of timeline here. We've had this account for several months now, and these are issues that have plagued the account since its inception. They're pretty basic issues, pretty fundamental to Google Ads in general. And there are things that we've been trying to fix for that long and are still to this day not fixed because we cannot personally go in and fix them. So what I mean by fundamentals, in this case, we're talking about conversion tracking with a lot of bidding strategies and Google Ads being conversion-based bidding strategies. Conversions are pretty important. Even if you're not using conversion-based bidding strategies, it's important to know what conversions are being driven from your ads and to see what's working, right? So let's take a look at what is set up in this account for conversions.
And while Seth is navigating to this, guys, the number one thing we look at in Google Ads whenever we're taking over an account, auditing account, whatever, is how are conversions set up? Because with all of Google's push for PMAX, machine learning, automations, everything is conversion focused, and that's why we start here. So this is it's pretty rudimentary.
Yeah, this is step one to make sure that your account is good and ready to go.
Cool. Just wanted to get that off my chest.
Yeah, so with this, being that it is an OEM certified vendor, there are some agreements that the vendor and the manufacturer come together with on certain ways that these are set up. So for example, the conversion value for some of these, the vendor and the manufacturer get together and determine what the conversion values are for some of these conversions. So in this case, our submit lead forms, great, we're tracking them. That's lovely. We want to be able to track them. All of them are set to $625. I don't know about at your store, but $625 for a service lead doesn't make a whole lot of sense when you're also getting $625 distributed to a trade lead. So
where does it show that now?
Right here, we have the difference in values over here. Right now it's saying, because it has how it's set up, it's saying different values. It can technically pull different values directly from the website, but it defaults to 625, which I'm willing to bet in almost every case it's going to default to 625 because I don't think it's pulling values directly from the website.
So guys, what that means and what Seth is saying is that Google is set up to pay, or Google is set up to think that a trade lead, meaning someone submitting on KBB ICO, your trade value tool, whatever it is worth $625 to the store. I don't know any trade lead that's worth that amount, and it's not even a weighted thing because he's saying too, service lead is worth the exact same amount. Is a service lead worth the same amount as a trade lead? In both instances, they make no sense.
Mm-hmm. And that's even just within this category of submit lead forms, right? Those are very important conversions to be tracking. But even within just this, there's discrepancies of what the value should be. Now, the core issue I have with this is that we're also tracking page views as primary conversions with pretty significant values set to them. So if you come down here, we're looking at VDP page views, and there were SRP page views, I believe, at one point, but right now we're just looking at VDP page views. So that's someone just made it to the VDP page, right? We're valuing that at $60. So 11 page views is worth more than a lead submission in this view.
So look at this column to the left of it. This is all conversion value, guys. This is supposed to be attributed to revenue. This means that our campaign generated what this company, this certified vendor, is saying, $2.5 million in revenue, when that has no basis for revenue tracking whatsoever. Someone making it to your VDP page doesn't equate to $60.
If that was the case, I would just run display traffic all day and I'd get a 60x return, right?
Yeah, and we'd show that on paper or we'd show that on the computer, and then we'd get laughed out of all of our stores because they would say these guys are full of crap.
Yeah. So my whole discussion with my account representative at this OEM certified vendor was, how do we get the account to be set up where we're not bidding on these page views as primary conversions, right? It's great that they're visiting the page, but I really don't care that they're visiting the page. I want their lead form submission. I want a call. I want something that means something to me as the dealer. I get that there's stipulations between what the manufacturer and the certified vendor have put together for what the things are valued at. But I talked to my representative, said, hey, can we set page views to secondary? Can we only bid on those high intent conversions? And he said, yes. He said, yeah, we can do that. That was 3 months ago. He got back to me the next week after we did that, which that should be a change that takes about 5 minutes to do. He got back to me a week later and said it was done. Like, okay, great. I go in, it's not done. Called him out on it. Said, sorry, I'll go take a look. We've gone back and forth like this for the course of 3 months. And he keeps on telling me it's done, it's complete, we're good to go. It's still not done.
So something that takes 5 minutes to do, that is rudimentary and foundational to Google Ads success, has not been done for multiple months on end. And the worst part is that the representative thinks it's done, which really, to me, just the whole trust of this representative is thrown out the window completely, because they don't even know what they're talking about. This is Google Ads. If you go take a Google Ads course, this is Google Ads 101. Making sure you got conversion tracking set up appropriately and making sure it's set up the right way. This is why we started here. So now this rep, to me, means nothing, unfortunately, because they don't know what they're talking about.
And so this is coming on the tail end of the rep is now suggesting that we make some pretty big campaign shifts. The rep wants us to move all of our search-based campaigns for our new models. It wants to move them all to Performance Max, which, if you're familiar, Performance Max campaigns can only be on conversion-based bidding strategies. So you can't do max clicks, you can't do target impression share. It has to be maximize conversion value or maximize conversions, either with a target CPA or maximize or target return on ad spend. So it has to be conversion based. If all of our conversions are messed up, what are we telling our Performance Max campaigns to bid on? In this case, it's effectively going to be a max clicks campaign because it's pretty easy to get 11 clicks on a campaign in the grand scheme of things. So
just sad.
Yeah. It's been a pretty frustrating part of working with this vendor, especially being that they're supposed to be the certified ones that are walking me through it, right? If I was the end client, I would just be like, oh, okay, he said it's done. Great. Lovely. But luckily we're pushing it more, and well, I guess we'll see how long it takes to get them to actually get it set up right. But,
well, let me just interrupt for a second, because Seth brings up a great point. This is one of the biggest items that we find we help with our dealer clients. It's just strictly education. As a car dealer, you're busy selling cars, you're busy operating a store, you're busy talking to customers, you're busy handling disputes, you're busy trying to make deals. You should not have to get this granular. This is a job for a digital marketing company, a Google Ads company that does things right, and that's what's supposed to be a certified vendor, but they really don't, because they don't serve you. They don't serve the store that you're at. They serve the OEM. And that's who they play to. Your marketing dollars, even though they are co-opt, do not go as far, because you just get, this is just the surface of your templated advertising. This is the kind of stuff where if you turn off, it might not even make a difference because it's set up so incorrectly. And it's appalling to see because you guys are still spending this account, this client is still spending money on this. They're going a little bit beyond their co-op. So it's still astounding to see, and it's really disheartening. And that's really because there's not enough people that know to ask the right questions. And that's where you guys, as the dealer personnel or anybody watching this video, you have to know who you can trust to do this. Hopefully we've shed some light on this. Seth's going to shed some more.
So the conversions here, that's step one, right, of setting up the account, making sure it's good to go. We've also got issues kind of further down the line. So, of course, every month we've got our offers that we want to push to clients, our most objective things. We're trying to get clients to walk through that door. We've sent through the offers to this OEM certified vendor, and the turnaround time historically so far has been about 3 weeks. So 3 weeks into the month where the offers are only good for the month, we get about a week of those offers actually running in the ads. And then this month I go back in to check if the offers have been input, which they hadn't. And they actually have incorrect offers running from that were never correct. So this is very basic stuff. You just take the numbers that are given. It's in a spreadsheet, pretty easy. This number goes to this car. It's basic.
So they're not advertising. That's actually, at least for Illinois, that could be a BBB violation. That could be, more state attorney general violation. That could be compliance infringements. They're not advertising the right offers. So we're advertising old offers. And what do they say to this?
I called him out on it twice in an email. And he said, our team is working on it. It's like, okay, well, in the meantime, we're running incorrect offers. So let's not do that.
So they really gave Seth no answer. They can run the wrong stuff. Imagine, just as an instance, imagine your ABC dealer or whatever, ABC Jeep dealer in any town. Imagine just advertising for your competitor, because that's essentially what this is doing. When you have the wrong ad, you're either not advertising for yourself or you might as well just be advertising for your competition. It makes literally no sense at all. It's crazy, man. I'm just getting heated listening to this, man. Come on.
Yeah, and this is just the entry-level stuff, too. I mean, there's plenty more we can dive into with how the campaigns in general are set up, their structure. Again, a lot of that is mandated from the manufacturer on their levels and what they deem to be successful on the dealership level. But from everything that we've seen from accounts that we've personally taken over where they had an OEM certified vendor and they switched to us, it just doesn't work with those templates. They're not effective. They're not targeting the right searches. They're not targeting the right people. So it's, like you mentioned, disheartening to see all that money basically just going to waste.
Out of all the OEM partners that you've run campaigns with, have you ever seen any campaign do well?
It's really hard to tell because of how messed up the conversion tracking always is. So in terms of doing well, pretty hard to nail that down. But I haven't seen a campaign running that I thought couldn't be improved from a ROI perspective or a cost per result perspective. Every single campaign that I've seen running, there's things that I would change about it. Like another simple thing in here, I had to request that the mobile app or game placements were removed from the campaigns here because I saw a very large percentage of our impressions on Performance Max campaigns were going to mobile apps like baby games. Like babies aren't buying cars. So very frustrating. It's like, why is that even an option? Why aren't they thinking of this? Why do I have to go in and find it myself?
And this is where you have somebody that knows to ask the right questions. Why? Because Seth has built campaigns. He continues to build them. He monitors them, and he knows what he's looking for. Imagine, I'm sorry, most dealer personnel, and I'm sorry if I offend, but your guys' job is, your expertise doesn't have to be this. It shouldn't be. This is where you should rely on a partner. These OEM certified companies are going to sell you a bill of goods pushed by the OEM, and you may take the money, but it's like, what are we doing here? We might as well not even advertise in a lot of these instances if no one's going to see our ads. And this is why if you Google yourself too, you probably won't see yourself, or you'll see an ad copy that's very, very light and doesn't really mean or matter or anything. So it sounds like a hate video, and it is, but it's really just come to Jesus in a sense, because we cannot afford anymore. We're not in COVID times anymore. Dealers, I talk to them every single day. We cannot afford anymore to be inefficient with our advertising. Google Ads is one of the, in SEM, search engine marketing, is one of the largest advertising expenses in car dealers right now. We were going through an NADA article today from 2023 that the average dealer spends around $530,000 in advertising per year. And Google Ads SEM is $103,000. That is 20% of your advertising. So 20%, and advertising is often the largest expense that you have next to people. So 20% of one of your largest expenses is being wasted on most cases. Let me repeat that. 20% of your largest expense is just being wasted because we're not paying attention to the right things. Third time, 20% of your advertising is being wasted because we're not paying attention to the right things. Some action items: know what your conversions are. Ask your representatives. If they fumble through it and they can't give you a good answer, then something's wrong and you got to investigate further. Look at your ad copy. Look at your ad copy and know what it actually says. Make your partner actually present it. And number three, if they're not responsive to you, then you can expect the quality of work to be subpar at least. Those would be like the three takeaways I'd give you from this video. Seth may have some other ones, but do you have any other ones?
Yeah, just take what they tell you with a grain of salt. They have their, custom reporting that tells you everything's going great, and they give you comparisons to other people in the market. I don't even need the reporting to tell you that this account isn't working right. So either have the person that can double check these people, or just be extra careful, because I have yet to find one that is running as good as it should be.
Boom, mic drop. So that was loud. So that's it, guys. Thank you for attending. Thank you for watching. Comment us if you have any questions. We're here to answer, here to help. We want to generally see our dealers and potential other dealers do well, because now more than ever, especially in the last 5 years, we need to be as efficient as possible. This is the time where you need to make sure that your ads are running as efficient as possible. The cost per acquisition of new cars, cost per acquisition of used cars, your cost per client or cost per acquired new customer, we need to lower those. And there are plenty of ways to do so. Let us know in the comments. David Feldman-Makrias featuring Seth Bajitsky. Peace.